Hey everyone, it is Mr. Vargas here, looking to help out Math 8 with homework assignment 2.4, page 149, not AL, page 149, all. This has to do with solving equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. Let's jump right on in. Let's start out with number 1. Alright, we've got an equation 7a plus 10 is equal to 2a. Let's go ahead and make our mirror. Alright, and now, like we learned in class, we want to get the variables all onto one side of the equation. So here I'm probably going to take this 7a right here, and I'm going to move it over to this side of the equation, to the right side. So I'm going to move it from the left to the right. And how we do that is by simply doing reverse order of operations and properties of equality. So this right here is a positive 7a because nothing's in front of it. So the way I can get rid of a positive 7a is to take away 7a. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. This cancels out. You can bring down your 10. And that's going to be equal to 2a minus 7a. So if you think of 2 apples and you take away 7 apples, you're going to have a negative 5 apples left over. Now you guys know how to solve this from here. We can divide on both sides by negative 5. And a equals negative 2. Alright, let's go to the next one. Fantastic. Make our mirror. Got 11x equal to 24 plus 8x. You can imagine that we're probably going to take this 8x and move it over to this left side. And the way that I do that is by subtracting 8x from both sides. This cancels out, leaving 0. We can bring down our 24. And that will be equal to 11 xylophones. Take away 8 xylophones is just 3 xylophones. Divide both sides by 3. That cancels out. X is going to be equal to 8. Nicely done. Moving right along to number 3. Alright, so here we actually need to get all of our variables onto one side and all of our numbers, our regular numbers, onto the other side. So the way that I'm probably going to do this is I'm going to take this 6y and I'm going to subtract 6y on this side, move it over here to this side, and then I'm going to take this negative 3, get rid of that by adding 3, and bring it over to the right side. Let's see how that looks. Make your mirror. Okay, let's start out by subtracting 6y from this side and from the other side. That cancels out. We are left with 2y on this side minus 3 is equal to, go ahead and bring that 17 down. Now this is just a two-step equation. Add 3, add 3. Remember, we're doing the reverse order of operations here, so we need to add this guy before we divide out this 2 in front of the y. Alright, that gets you 20 on the right-hand side, and that's equal to 2y once we brought that down. And then final step is to actually divide both sides by 2. To free up your variable, you have now isolated your variable. It's alone on the left-hand side of the equation, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. Alright, we are moving through it quickly. Let's go over to number 4 and set up our mirror. We've got 5p plus 2 is equal to 4p minus 1. I know that I have 5 p's over on this side and 4 p's on this right side, so I think I'm going to balance this equation out by subtracting 4p on this side and moving it over to the left-hand side. Let's go ahead and do that. The opposite of 4p is a minus 4p. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Now make sure when you are doing this, you don't take away your p's from your non-p's. Here's a common mistake that a lot of students will make. They'll go like this, they'll take away 4p, and then for some reason they'll try taking away 4p from this 2. This 2 does not have any variable attached to it, so we cannot do this. Make sure our variables and our terms match. So here we go, minus 4p. Minus 4p on this side cancels out. We are left with p plus 2 is equal to negative 1 when we bring down that negative 1. Alrighty, last step is to just go ahead and subtract 2 on this left side. Oops, sorry, I'll use black. And subtract 2 on that right hand side. And this cancels out. And you are left with p is equal to negative 1, take away 2. Let's think of that on the number line. If I start at negative 1, there's 0. If I start at negative 1 and I take away 2, I'm actually going to go to the left 2 times. I'm not going to go to the right, so I'll go to the left 2. And that is the same thing as negative 1 minus 2, so which is equal to negative 3. So p is equal to negative 3. There is your answer. Alright, this time we've got a fraction in front of our variable, but no need to fret. We can solve this one the same exact way as the others. Here we're just going to add 1/6 n to both sides. Okay, and I know that, well, first I got to bring down my 15, and I know that 1/6 n plus 1/6 n just makes 2/6 n minus 1. Alright, let me write that in red. Okay, we can add 1 to both sides. Plus 1, plus 1, and we get 16 equals 2 over 6 n. And we know how to solve this. We have to multiply by the reciprocal, 6 over 2. That cancels that out. Multiply this side. Put a 1 on the bottom, multiply this side by 6 over 2, and we get n is equal to 32 over 2. 32 divided, whoops. Let's actually go ahead and cross cancel over here. 1 goes into itself 1 time and goes into 16 8 times. Now multiply across 6 times 8. And you get 48. So n equals 48. A little bit harder there, but we could still figure it out. Let's move on to number 6. Alright, let's build our mirror. And for this one, they're just really trying to trip you up here by having fractions be in different denominators, or not be like fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rewrite this and change my denominator for 1/3. I'm going to rewrite that fraction. So I'm going to rewrite everything actually. 2/9 b. Now I can multiply 3 by 3 to get a 9 on the bottom. But whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Since I multiplied 3 by 3 to make 9, I multiply the top by 3. So that new fraction is just 3 over 9b minus 7. Okay, now we can solve. Add 5 over 9, add 2 over 9b to this side. That'll cancel that out. Add 2 over 9b to this side. We'll get 3 is left over on the left. 3 over 9 plus 2 over 9 makes 5 over 9b minus 7. Add 7 to both sides. And you get 5 over 9. B is equal to 10. Okay, got to multiply by the reciprocal again. 9 over 5 over here. Cancel it out. Whatever you do to one side, we have to do to the other side. I put a 1 on the bottom of my 10. Now let's go ahead and investigate 9 over 5 times 10 over 1. Off to the side. 9 over 5 times 10 over 1. We could do it either way. We'll go straight across the top and bottom. When we multiply, which would be 90 over 5, and 5 goes into 90. 1, bring over the 4, 18 times. So you are all done. B is equal to 18. Alright, I'm going to set up number 7 for you, and then I want you guys to solve this one on your own. So the word problem says 9 fewer than half a number. So it would be 9 fewer than, that's a change word, a flip word. So 9 fewer than 1/2 of a number is 5 more than, that's another change word where you have to write it on the right. 5 more than 4 times the number, 4x. So we defined our variable, it's x, and now you guys have the job of solving this equation, getting x isolated on one side. Alright, I will see you guys in class. Good luck on the rest of your assignment.